In Jerusalem, at the very spot marked for over 2 millennia, steps from the ancient pool of Siloam have come to light. This place plays a central role in both Old and New Testament traditions. For centuries, it lay buried under layers of earth and silence. Now, excavations are revealing structures that line up directly with the biblical accounts, rekindling debates and sparking curiosity in both believers and skeptics. It's not just archaeology, it's biblical history recorded in stone and dust, right before our eyes. Before we go on, click subscribe and turn on the bell. This way YouTube knows this content matters and shows it to more people. The impact of these discoveries goes beyond the fascination with ruins. Every exposed block expands our understanding of how Jerusalem pulsed in ancient times, how water was used in rites, and why Siloam stood out in sacred narratives. This overlap between text and terrain raises fertile questions. What else is still hidden? Which paths connected to the pool? And how can those answers shed light on episodes that shaped the faith of millions? Among those episodes, one stands out: the story in John chapter 9. Jesus meets a man blind from birth. When the disciples ask about guilt and sin, he shifts the focus. It's not about blame, it's about revealing the works of God. Then he makes mud with saliva, anoints the man's eyes, and gives a simple, direct instruction: go wash in the pool of Siloam. Obedience paves the way for what comes next. And it's right at this point that archaeology and text meet with renewed force. If this topic interests you, stick with our content so you don't miss the next revelations. Now let's step down another level and explore what the next layer of Siloam can tell us. He went down to the edge of the pool, washed his face, and for the first time he could see. For centuries, this episode was brushed off. Critics claimed the pool never existed, that the gospel was written too late, that the miracle was pure invention. Then, in the summer of 2004, the ground of Jerusalem itself answered. A crew was fixing a sewage pipe on the southern slope of the city of David when the excavators hit something different. Under the packed earth, wide, precisely cut steps appeared. At first glance, they looked like ordinary remains, but the pattern stood out. The archaeologists came. As the earth was removed, stone by stone revealed a monumental staircase descending into a large pool. It wasn't the small Byzantine basin long shown to pilgrims. The structure was bigger, older, fitting a public space capable of hosting crowds. Measurements, alignments, materials, everything pointed to the Second Temple period. The evidence piled up, and with it, one name grew stronger. It was the Pool of Siloam, the setting mentioned in the Gospel. Not allegory, but history set in stone, chisel, and dust. And one detail dismantled decades of skepticism. It was exactly where the biblical text places it, at the foot of the city of David. A discovery born from a routine repair reopened, with archaeological precision, the stage of a meeting that changed a man's life, and the way many read the past. For the first time in centuries, believers once again set foot on the very steps where a blind man washed and regained his sight. To understand why that pool existed, we need to go back almost 700 years before Christ, to the days of King Hezekiah. Jerusalem lived under the shadow of the Assyrian Empire. Sennacherib was advancing city after city, and the capital's survival seemed to hang by a thread. The only reliable spring, Gihon, was outside the walls, vulnerable. If it were taken, the city would fall. Before we go on, click subscribe and turn on the bell. This way YouTube knows this content matters and shows it to more people. Hezekiah then made a bold decision. He ordered a tunnel to be cut through solid rock, nearly 1,750 feet long, to bring water inside Jerusalem. The Bible records this work in 2 Kings 20:20, highlighting the pool and the aqueduct that brought water to the city. The tunnel remains to this day, and its waters fed a reservoir you know by name, the Pool of Siloam. It wasn't just engineering for wartime, it was also the confirmation of a promise. God had said he would preserve his people from Assyria, and through that channel the city was sustained. Decades and reigns later, after the return from the Babylonian exile, Nehemiah 3:15 mentions that Shallum son of Kol-Hoseh restored the fountain gate, the section of the wall by the king's garden, and the steps that went down to Siloam. That detail isn't casual. It shows how the pool stayed at the center of Jerusalem's life. a stage for gatherings, rituals, and stories that still echo. And it's right on those steps that the next chapter begins. The story starts at the Gihon Spring, the source that fed Jerusalem. From there, the water ran through Hezekiah's tunnel to the pool of Siloam. It was there that pilgrims washed and got ready to go up to the temple. Every detail ties the pool to the biblical storyline: kings, prophets, and finally, the Messiah. When the pool was rediscovered, archaeologists traced a line from its edge and found a wide street paved with stone slabs that ran from the pool of Siloam to the Temple Mount. It was the main pilgrimage route of ancient Jerusalem. People from all over the country purified themselves there and step by step moved along that road toward the place of God's presence. Careful ears could catch the rhythm of feet, murmured prayers, and the songs of ascent echoing off the stones. In the Gospel of John, chapter 7, during the Feast of Tabernacles, Jesus stands and proclaims, "If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, rivers of living water will flow from within him." As water was carried from the pool to the temple, he presents himself as the ultimate source. The excavation of the road brought another witness: thousands of coins lost along the way by pilgrims. Their dates are clear, many from the 1st century. One was minted in AD 29, right in the heart of Jesus' ministry. These are concrete signs that place time, place, and message side by side, setting the stage for what would come next. When archaeologists removed layers of earth in Jerusalem, something surfaced that speaks to a precise era: the steps of the pool of Siloam and the road that led to the temple, active exactly in the period described by the Gospels. This realization knocks down the idea that the accounts were late and symbolic. Stones worn by pilgrims' feet and dated coins tell another story. It's not allegory, it's ground, mortar, and copper. Before we go on, click subscribe and turn on the bell. This way YouTube knows this content matters and shows it to more people. For years, people said Siloam was a legend and the healing of the blind man was just a literary device. Today, the steps reappear. The processional road lines up, the coins stamp the calendar. Anyone who walks that route understands that Jesus' episode is anchored to a real address. Each find shrinks the room for hasty doubt. The pool of Siloam shows that the Bible speaks with history and geography. In Hezekiah's day, its waters helped protect Jerusalem. In Jesus' day, they washed a man's eyes. In our day, they wash away layers of skepticism. Faced with these signs, the question changes. It's not whether a place existed, but what we do with what that place declares. The steps invite us down, the road invites us up, and the coins, silent, record the time. We keep going along the excavated path, one step at a time, alert to what the next shovels might reveal. In John 9:5, Jesus declares, "While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." Centuries have passed, and a pool in Jerusalem still points to that claim. Its stones and steps hold a story that has resurfaced. The pool of Siloam, mentioned in Scripture, has reappeared with its monumental tiers, the road that led pilgrims to the temple, and coins minted in the days when Jesus walked through Judea. The site's layers connect to Hezekiah, to Nehemiah, and to the prophets, weaving a continuous thread between texts, kings, and rebuildings. The find goes beyond scientific curiosity. It shows in concrete ways that faith talks with history. When the earth is removed and light reaches what stayed hidden for nearly 2 millennia, we see that the biblical narrative doesn't float in a vacuum. It treads the dust of roads, descends stone steps, and passes from hand to hand in real coins. And at the center, the good news echoes. The one who calls himself living water still opens eyes, healing blindness of body and heart, and no darkness can overcome him. Thanks for walking with us this far. If this content spoke to your heart and clarified your understanding of biblical history, leave a like, share it with someone, and drop a comment about what stood out most to you. Your participation helps us take this work further. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next episodes about biblical archaeology and prophecy. May the Lord light up your steps and sustain your search for the truth. Peace, and see you in the next video.